Hey everybody, it's Jason Waha here, everyone's favorite internet mercenary, and from the first to the last, I give them the blast so fast that their life has passed before they ass has even hit the grass. That was said by one bad mother. Shh, hush your mouth. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting a little bit, and let's talk about this. You know, the question that does come up all the time, particularly to people like me, someone like me who was branded years ago the fake natty hunter, and, which I thought was kind of ridiculous. Why should we even care if someone like Mike O'Hearn or Simeon Panda or any of these guys are a fake natty? Why should we even care? Is it about jealousy? Is it about finding a person's individual ethics? No. No, who cares? Like, do you seriously care? Does it affect your life or the industry in any meaningful way if someone has lied somewhere about their drug use they do behind closed doors? I mean, does it really affect you if it's not someone you know personally or you don't have some interaction with them or business interaction or something? No, it doesn't. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect you. Like, does it affect my lifts in the gym that some guy who claims he's natural and blasts 3 grams of test a week can outbench me by 150 pounds? I mean, does it really matter? No, it doesn't matter. So why do we care about this stuff? Why should anybody care? Is it about bodybuilding? Hell, I don't care about bodybuilding. I think bodybuilding, and when I say bodybuilding, I mean competitive bodybuilding. I don't consider the other stuff to be bodybuilding. That's recreational aesthetics chasing. It's called going to the gym. It's called working out. Whatever you want to call it. It's not bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is a competitive endeavor. I could give 2 shits about bodybuilding. I think it's the most ridiculous shit anyone does who's involved in training. I mean, if that's your passion, if that's what blows your skirt up, then by all means carry on. I'm not a fan. I don't watch it. I couldn't tell you who placed 3rd at the Mr. Olympia last year. I couldn't name more than 2 people who were even going to be at the show. And you know why I know their names? Because I see it on social media. Outside of that, I could probably only name like 2 guys who are going to be there. I don't care. So why would I care about the fake natties? Because it's about keeping people from getting ripped off. That's it. The only time I think any reasonable person should really care if someone's a fake natty, unless they personally lied to your face, maybe in a conversation, and then you might feel slighted, is selling products. That's it, about false advertising. Because that's what I believe capitalism is based upon. It's about consumer reviews. It's about people out there telling the truth about products, advertising, industry. See, I take a libertarian stance of business. I'm not a big fan of government oversight of business. I'm really not. I believe that why consumer reports and reviews and things like that exist. I think that's the best tool we have to regulate business ethics. I really do. People's spending dollars and what people say about those products and the people selling them. And the problem with all these fake natties, and they are prevalent, let's be honest here. The vast majority of your fitness YouTubers, even who claim natty, are on anabolic drugs of some type. Right? They are. The majority of guys competing in pro, as if they make a living actually doing it, pro natural bodybuilding, are on something. There's a few of them in the top who are just really genetically gifted and they train really hard. More power to those guys. So they do exist. They exist. I think they're in the minority. And you know what? If they're not selling products, I don't care. You shouldn't care. We need to care because the question becomes, if a person can obtain something that other people aren't obtaining natural, either they have some amazing genetic gifts that almost no one else has, in which case, kind of silly for people to buy their products thinking they're going to get those results. You don't have their genetics. Or they have discovered some magic secret that has helped get them along the way. And you know what? In the case of a lot of these guys, it's both. They have some magic secret, and it's not the twist they do at the top of their curl. It's not their branched chain amino acids, because those have been proven to not help with muscle growth. The data is pretty overwhelming at this point. Other than a few years ago, everyone believed it, and now the data said nope. They have a magic secret, and it usually involves a cocktail of drugs. And they have really amazing genetics for what they do. That's usually the case. It's not either or. It's usually a combination, isn't it? I mean, realistically speaking, I mean, does anyone think Mike O'Hearn would look like he does if he had just average Joe genetics? So you think the average guy tried to train as hard as Mike O'Hearn did, he'd look like him? I'm going to go on a limb and say you think the average guy used a little bit of tren and a little bit of growth hormone and trained like Mike does, that he would look like him? You really think so? I don't. So it's obvious a lot of these guys are genetically gifted. Like, no one's denying that. Hell, no one's even denying that a lot of them work hard. I mean, take someone like Mike O'Hearn. He'll say stuff like, steroids is just a word the lazy use to describe the dedicated. As if the implication that, he's using stuff that helps some train harder and it enhances recovery, because that's part of what the drugs do. They enhance recovery. They let you train harder without overtraining. As if that accusation means he doesn't train hard. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that Mike probably does train harder than 99% of guys in the gym. You know what? I don't have a problem with that statement. From what I've seen, the guy does train pretty damn hard. He definitely trains harder than the average guy at the gym. I don't think there's any question about that. Right? He trains hard. No doubt about it. He is genetically gifted. There is no doubt about that. But does that mean because someone trains hard that they're not using substances that improve aggression and work capacity in the gym? That they're not using substances that enhance recovery so that you can train harder more often? That's not a good defense at all. Saying that you train in an inhuman manner implies that there might be some inhuman chemistry involved. I mean, let's be realistic here. Human body can only handle so much. Now, some people are genetically gifted with higher recovery and work capacities than others. Again, there's no doubt about that. Let's just accept reality. From a value standpoint, we believe in America that all men are created equal, but when it comes to something like body composition or gaining muscle and athletic performance, let's be honest here, not all men are created equal there. We aren't. So the point we come to is that if people are using drugs to market a product, meaning they've used very large amounts of drugs, oftentimes for many, many years, and that is part of their recipe to success, in addition to their genetics and hard work, and most of these guys don't deny that they work hard or have good genetics. See, that's the whole point. If what they said was that, well, it's my genetics, my hard work, and this is my other little secret. It comes in a bottle, in a syringe. We wouldn't have a problem, would they? Because that would be honesty. They're like, I use this program. No, I use this program, but I got a little help from my friends. Right? It wouldn't be as big of a deal, but instead it's, oh, I use this program. Yeah, I'm genetically gifted, and I use this program, and I train really hard. And you can buy my program for 3 easy installments of $39.95. But instead of a little help from my friend, I take these branched chain amino acids that I also sell for $39 for a 1 month supply. Yeah, see, that's what's responsible. That's the substance I'm putting into my body, when that's not the substance they're putting into their body that's giving them the extraordinary results, is it? It's not their duck eggs they sell for $700 for a 1 month supply. That's not giving them the results. It's the other stuff they're taking. And the problem is that these guys are marketing the fact that they're natural is the implication that there is no illicit substances involved. And that opens the pathway to sell supplements. And for the most part, supplements don't actually work. They don't. Let's be realistic here. The vast majority of them do very, very little, if anything. And the ones that do actually work only do a little bit. They're just going to give you a little tiny advantage. Like the best supplements ever found, the best supplements known to man, they're going to give you a little bitty advantage that might be barely noticeable. And if it is anything more than barely noticeable, that's a placebo effect. Because, that was tested in labs too, wasn't it? You guys remember those studies that were done where they gave guys fake steroids? They gave them a sugar pill and told them it was a really powerful steroid. And all of those guys gained over twice as much strength as the people who were just given a normal placebo and not given anything. They gained over twice as much strength by being given that sugar pill that they were told was an anabolic. Well, that's how some of these supplements are working too. You're just getting a placebo. You think it's going to make you stronger, so you train harder. Well, you train harder, you get a little stronger, and you gain more muscle as long as you don't overtrain, right? That's what's happening. You're getting a placebo effect if you're actually noticing something real. Now, the scary part is that I've heard people like Jerry Ward, Junkie Ward, aka Last Place Jerry Ward, actually saying that that's good, that supplements are great because they're giving people a placebo effect. Even if they don't do anything real, they're getting the placebo effect, and so the people are still getting their money's worth, right? I mean, that's the most amazing justification I've ever heard from a con man. Pretty amazing, huh? It's amazing how when you really are a sociopath, how you can make these leaps of logic of how you can just totally con people and sell them a product that has no value. But if they believe that it has value and they get a placebo effect, you haven't ripped them off in any way. And in fact, you have helped them. You have done them an amazing favor. Now that's some interesting logic, isn't it? Even when you know that what you sold them was basically fairy dust. You sold them with magical beans, like a Jack and the Beanstalk, you know. You knew it wasn't worth anything, but if you convinced them that it worked and they got results, then did you really rip them off? Of course not. You helped them. You're such a good person. You took their money, but you got paid to help them. I mean, without that placebo, they wouldn't have got those results. It makes you a fantastic human being. It's amazing how we can justify these things, isn't it? And we're all guilty of it. You know, that's human nature to some extent, right? We can justify when we do bad things. I'm guilty of it. Yeah, you're guilty of it. We're all guilty of it. But that is a pretty interesting leap of logic. And you see guys do that, huh? And that's always funny when they do that. But ultimately, that's what the industry boils down to, isn't it? But here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's false advertising, guys. I mean, if we're going to talk about ethics in business, I mean, look how many people out there right now are boycotting businesses because of their voting standards. Of course, they support certain parties, they support certain politicians, or they take any stance on a social matter, whether it's something you're for or against. Look how many people are boycotting companies at the national and international level right now. I mean, and I'm talking both ends of the political spectrum are doing it. Am I right? We see it all the time in the news, every day, because of their bad ethics. But you don't see everybody doing it because of the supplement industry, which is, I mean, straight up conning. Guys just using tons of drugs, claiming natty, and then using that to sell products that don't work. I mean, if we want to talk about bad business ethics, I mean, if you want to talk about bad ethics and something needing to be called out, that's easily up there with any political issue. I mean, let's be realistic here. That's just straight up conning. At least people who support a political person or a platform or an idea, they probably legitimately believe that's good, right? Even if you think it's bad or I think it's bad or someone else thinks it's bad, people who are supporting an idea at least believe on some level that they're the good guy. Everyone believes that their political ideology is good. If they didn't, they wouldn't follow it. Do you think anyone wakes up in the morning and says, I want to vote for a bad person because I'm a bad person? I want to support this social issue because I know it's wrong and it's evil and I want to be evil. Do you think people, the majority of people, really do that? Of course not. Every single one of us believe the things that we believe, irrespective of what your belief system is, irrespective of what your religious beliefs, your political beliefs, your social beliefs are. You probably believe that it's the right thing, at least on some level. Maybe you might say it's not the greatest thing in the world, but there's nothing better. It's the lesser of two evils, maybe, or I think it's amazing. I think it's fantastic. I think everyone should believe like I do. Right? Everyone should hold my spiritual belief, right? Of course we think that, or lack thereof. An atheist might say, hey, I think everyone should be an atheist. That would be great. a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, a Hindu, they all think, hey, if everyone believed what I believed, just imagine how much better the world would be. Of course you believe that, because you think that it's right. You think that it's good. Every Democrat, every Republican, every independent probably thinks that the way that they vote is generally the good guys. They believe that, because no one wakes up in the morning and says, I want to be a bad person. I want to support bad things. So from that perspective, you need to understand that you're protesting oftentimes people who believe that they're doing the good thing. Right? That's generally the case, but you happen to disagree. You probably happen to disagree pretty strongly if you're willing to boycott a business. And that's a fair statement. Yet when you have people who know that they're conning people for a living, like the supplement business, and the vast majority of people, almost people of every single political, religious, spiritual, ideological persuasion usually believe that conning people with fake products and false advertising, almost everyone agrees, other than a little tiny number of people. The vast majority of people of all belief systems usually believe that that's wrong. Right? They believe that's wrong. Most of us do, at least on some level. Where's all the protests of the supplement industry? Conning people with this continual false advertising and fake natties, it's not there. And then when someone like me has the audacity to call out fake natties, all of a sudden it's a witch hunt, right? And all of a sudden the people in the industry, well, we're the bad guy because we're just jealous, right? That's their reply. The people in the industry, well, they're just jealous of what they've achieved. They're just being jealous. And instead we're going, no, we don't like your terrible ethics. We don't like that you're conning people. This isn't right. I'm calling you guys out on conning people out of their hard-earned money, using these guys to pimp products, but then they've always got to spin it around. See, that's just people's lazy attitude. That's just people being jealous. No, all these guys are natural, and you need to keep buying our branched-chain amino acids. Keep buying our pre-workouts. Keep buying our swamp algae that we scraped out of the bottom of a pond because we did an in-house study showing it affected myostatin positively. Keep buying our colostrum extract. Keep buying our programs. You need to do 7 different types of bicep curls because the bicep is really more complicated than biomechanics would have you believe. Right? You need to keep buying all these products. No. These people are just jealous haters. Who are you going to listen to? The guys who look like the guy on our bottle? Guy who's advertising our product? Or are you going to believe this guy? He's just a jealous hater. Yeah. But in the reality, I'm just looking at it going, you're ripping people off. That's not cool. I'm just wanting to call you out on it. I don't care what you do in your personal life. I don't care what you use behind closed doors. I don't care if you cheat in bodybuilding. No one gives a shit about bodybuilding. It's a beauty pageant where people suck dick to get placings anyways. Right? Even the guy who technically should win under the rules doesn't even always win because it's about politics. It's about favors. Right? Let's be realistic here. Anyone really care about cheating in bodybuilding? It's already cheating. It's completely subjective and political beauty pageant. No one cares. If you want to cheat at a natural bodybuilding show, I could care less. But stop using your chemically enhanced physique to sell products to ignorant ass naive kids who don't know any better. And I think that we all have a right to be calling this out. We all have a right to say, you know what, maybe we need to be boycotting these companies that are doing this based upon ethics, right? Just like people are boycotting all these other companies right now, everything from clothing manufacturers, food makers, to everything else. They're boycotting even banks because of their bad business ethics, or what they believe to be their bad business ethics. How is this not bad business ethics? Everyone agrees that lying and using false advertising to sell products to naive teenagers is morally wrong. Almost everybody believes that. It's particularly when you're selling products that don't do anything. Come on. So when people say, why should we care if someone is a fake natty? Why should we care? That's why. That's really the only real reason, isn't it? And I think it's a pretty damn good one. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.